Okay, so you're probably looking at this and going, Fritos, what the heck? Yeah, actually what I've got here are some bags. And what I wanted to talk about is foraging. Looking for useful resources while you're out hiking, backpacking, exploring. You may not even use those resources then and there. You may just want to gather some items. Maybe you've seen some stuff that you think might make a good tinder, but you don't know. And you want to bring it home and experiment with it, which is what I'm going to do here in a minute. I like having a foraging bag. I don't like to commingle brush and tinder and things with my my pack, and then having bugs jump off the material and wander around in my backpack, maybe a tick or something. I like having a dedicated bag for gathering. This can be anything. It could be an old Fritos bag that you're just repurposing to gather fire making materials. These have got a nice foil interior. If you're gathering fire making materials, it's going to keep them pretty waterproof. You roll it up. You could gather water in this. Another bag that I like to use, this is just a really tiny one. This held some rice cakes, but cereal box bags. Some of them are really, really tough, like cornflakes and life cereal. They're really thick, really tough. I picked up trash off the trail in them, and they're almost puncture proof. You can gather water in those. Split a piece of wood, roll it up with your water inside of it, put another piece of wood against it to trap it, and then a loop on either end, and you can carry water in this. You could hook it to your backpack even until you're ready to treat it or purify it, and then put it into your non-contaminated water bottle. But having some of these is handy for like water gathering. They're waterproof if you're trying to keep your items dry. This is just an old pair of pants that have been reconfigured into a ditty bag with a drawstring. Very easy to make from an old pair of cast-off pants. A friend of mine gave me an elk hide, and I made this really nice heavy bag. It's got a paracord drawstring and a piece of antler as a cord lock to lock it in place. And this is a great gathering bag. It's I rubbed it with mink oil, so it's fairly water repellent. So these are just some options, but I think it's a good idea to carry some gathering bags. If you read your history and you look at the 18th and 19th century American Armed Forces, everybody was issued a haversack, and that was also called a foraging sack. And it was a bag that you were given your rations, and you stored them in it and carried them around. And if you happen to come into the opportunity to maybe pick some apples or some other food items, you just stuffed them in there, and that was your gathering bag or your foraging sack. Foraging, the word itself means to look for food or resources, so that's where that name comes from. So today I was out on a hike and just gathered a few different materials that I found some punky wood on the ground. Thought I'd check that out. Found some dried bracken fern laying on the ground. Some usnea. Old man's beard. I've seen Bear Grylls start this on his show with spark-based ignition. I've never been able to do it, but if you can, great, good on you. This was interesting. I found a oak that was split in half, and there was remnants of a beehive in there. And I thought, well, it'd be interesting to see how this will burn. It's old dried honeycomb. So we'll see. So see if we can get something going here with the items that we've foraged today. So this is just the usnea. Like I said, I'm not even going to mess with it spark based. Just going to put a match to it. You can see that just goes right up. Yeah, you can see the usnea worked well for getting my campfire started. Let's take a look at this honeycomb. So it burns waxy. It's probably, you know, like honeycomb wax. Burn good. Creates a wax down here that drips off. This would be good to get my fire started. So that'd be interesting to forage for when you're out looking for resources in the woods. See that wax dripping off. I can blow that out and save it for later. This is the bracken fern that I found. Okay, doesn't stay burning very well, but will burn. Throw this punk wood in. Fire feels good. Nice to get warm. Got a nice overcast day here on the coast. Fog's rolling in. Try this punk. See what it does. Just smolders, which, you know, you might be able to get that to go spark based. This is another kind of a fungus that I found growing on some oaks. It's dried and dead, but I thought I'd see what it'll do. Looks like it would make an ember, but I don't know if that would take off spark based. So yeah, I think the thing I learned today from my little outing is usnea is really great. I want to maybe gather some of that as a tinder, so having a bag like this that I can just stuff it in would be handy. And also if I happen to run across an old beehive, honeycomb would be handy. I've seen how well that burned. That would get a fire started. So just a few ideas, but definitely want to recommend you add a gathering bag to your kit. It's just really handy. You don't have to take your whole pack with you. You can park your pack at your camp and then wander off and go gathering. Okay, so just an idea there, and we'll talk to you later.